I don't even know how to start this video. Uh, hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Desiree. If you guys are new here, hi. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Today's YouTube video is going to be a little bit different. I know I haven't posted in a while. I think the last video I posted was my labor and delivery. Today I am here to talk to you guys about my son. If you guys don't know my son, his name is Matias. He is currently 7 months old. He will be 8 months this month in September. I'm super excited. He's getting super big. Time is going by really fast. But today we are going to talk about him. For those who may or may not know, my son was diagnosed with profound hearing loss. In other words, he can't hear. His hearing loss is very severe. It's that I know I shared a Instagram post I shared a reel on my Instagram, sharing to you guys his diagnosis. And today I'm just gonna be answering questions that you guys have. I did put a question thing on my Instagram story, and I just went ahead and I wrote down questions that you guys asked me, so I'm here to answer those questions. So the first question is, to start off with, the most common question that's had been asked is, how did we find out about Matias hearing loss? So I don't think I ever shared. I think I have shared on my TikTok account him being in a NICU after he was born. I was with him for 2 hours, and then he was taken straight to NICU due to him having respiratory distress. And the best way I can explain it is that he was there for 6 days, literally full 6 days. And he was there for respiratory distress and jaundice. Thankfully, after he left the NICU, he did really good. And the reason we found out was because when he left the NICU, when you get discharged, when you leave the hospital, they always do a hearing test to your newborns. My son failed his newborn screening, um, and they told us that it was nothing to be worried about. That a lot of newborns fail it, especially leaving the NICU, just because they could probably have so much fluid. If your newborn doesn't pass their hearing test, yes, it could be fluid. In many cases, it isn't. In many cases, it's hearing loss. In my son's case, it was him having hearing loss. Um, so yeah, he failed his newborn screening test. Again, told us not to worry about it. It happens a lot to kids where they tell you, "Don't worry, it could just be fluid. It's nothing. Nothing to worry about." At first, as a mom, I was worried, but then again, they reassured me that it could be fluid. So we went ahead and we scheduled his next hearing test. Got a hearing test, didn't pass. Again, fluid. Um, and then we had another hearing test, and that's when his last hearing test that he had, he didn't pass it again, and that's when I was starting to get very worried. And thankfully, the audiologist that he had, very sweet lady, very sweet lady, one of the sweetest ladies I've ever met. She was very patient with us. For those who don't know, when babies get their hearing test, they have to be asleep. So we got there. I was able to put Matias to sleep. He slept really good. He slept for like a good hour. She did the hearing test on his ears. So the best way I can really explain it to you guys is, I'm gonna try to put a chart on the screen so you guys can kind of understand the hearing loss, how hearing loss works. So I know at the top is like mild hearing loss, and then the most bottom one is called profound, which is what Matias was diagnosed with. It's called profound hearing loss. So like the lowest sound that they play in a hearing test is a bird chirping, like a little bird chirping, and the highest one is a plane taking off. And his hearing test, he didn't his brain didn't react to anything. He wasn't reacting to nothing, none of the noises that they played in his hearing test. And after that, they diagnosed him with profound. We went again to get another hearing test just to see if everything was the same, and unfortunately everything was still the same. He was diagnosed with profound on both ears, so he cannot hear anything. His hearing loss is very severe. He can hear nothing. He doesn't react to noise. He doesn't get startled with anything, not even if it's like far away, loud noise. Nothing catches his attention. So that's kind of how we found out that he had hearing loss. Next question is, will he ever hear? Yes, he will. God willingly, he will hear again. He will be able to talk. He will be able to hear my voice. He'll be able to hear his. He'll be able to hear whatever is going on around him. Next question is, how did you feel when we found out Matias' hearing loss? I as his mom can tell you how I felt. I can't really tell you how his dad felt, but I can tell you guys the conversation we had after we left the doctor's appointment. So the day he was diagnosed, when she sat us down after his test was finished, she told us, this is what's going on. This is what so and so, he can't hear. He's not hearing. He's not reacting. He was diagnosed with profound. And as a mom, you don't want your kids to struggle ever. And when I found out, I remember I just started crying. I was like, is this something I did? Is there is there something that caused it? Is there something that I could have done? But I was very scared for him. I was very sad. I was very confused. I was just mainly scared for him. As a mom, as a parent, the first thing that goes through your head is like the bad things. I remember after we left the appointment, me and his dad sat in the car for a good hour in the parking lot of the office that we got his hearing test in at. We were there for like an hour and a half almost, just talking, and we were just thinking the worst. As parents, your mind, as a human being, the first thing you think of is the most negative things that you could ever think of. And we were like, what if he doesn't talk again? What if we're never able to communicate with him verbally? What if he and then we just started to think of like the world is so nowadays the world is so evil and the world is a scary place. And we were like, what if he doesn't hear? Like, what if people are just messing with him? And you know, you just think the worst. And as a mom, you don't want your kids to struggle ever in life. You want the best for them. The more I just educated myself about his hearing loss, the more my mind came to ease. Like, I was just very confused, very scared. I was questioning everything. Believe me, I was even questioning God. I was just questioning everything, and I mean myself. But my son, anybody can tell you, anybody that has ever met my son can tell you, he is the happiest baby ever. He's always smiling. He's always laughing. Even though my son can't hear you, you talk to him, you make faces to him, and he laughs. He smiles. One thing about him is he thrives off energy, facial expressions, love, physical contact. Like, he thrives off of that so much, and that's something, I think that's a really beautiful gift that he has, is that he thrives off of that, and he can feel the love. And again, when they say actions speak louder than words, I feel like he knows that since the beginning. He's known that since the beginning. And he knows what love is because he feels it. And I think that's one of the best ways I can put it. The next question is, will hearing aids help him? The best way I can put it is, hearing aids help noise become louder. That's what hearing aids help. Hearing aids help noise be louder. So if you have mild hearing loss to, like, I don't know, other hearing losses, they will help noise be louder and they'll be able to hear. But in my son's case, him having profound, most likely they tell us that it won't do anything. Just because his hearing loss is very severe. So hearing loss probably won't most likely do anything for him. So yeah, but he is getting hearing aids this month. So he will be getting hearing aids. We just have to try it out. So what are we doing to help his hearing loss? What I can tell you is, what we've been doing is we are taking steps for my son to get cochlear. If you guys don't know what cochlear is an implant that goes they make an incision behind both ears. In his case, it'll be both ears. You guys can go ahead and search up what the cochlear surgery is like. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube you guys can watch. But the best way I can explain is they put implant in his ear. They close an incision. Takes 2 weeks to heal. Then we go to his audiologist. They will take the cochlear. It's kind of like they look like hearing aids. They go right here on his ear, and there's like a little string that goes and it attached to his implant in his head like a magnet, and that will make sound go to his brain. Um, and hopefully, God willingly, it will help my son hear and know what sound is, because my son doesn't know what sound is, and we are doing all the steps that we can. There's nothing wrong with my son not being verbal, not hearing. There's nothing wrong with it. Again, it does not make my son any different. He is still a very happy, perfect baby. And again, I would just want to say the only thing deaf people can't do is hear. Being deaf does not stop my son from anything else, as in being smart, learning activities, walking, crawling, anything that has to do with that. My son, it won't stop my son from anything. I know my son will thrive as long as me and his dad help him the best we can. The another question is, are we learning ASL? Yes, we are learning ASL. I do have an app on my phone that I use every day to learn a new ASL sign. I do it on my free time when I can't sleep at night. I go on the app instead of going on TikTok and scrolling. I do go on the app and I make myself learn ASL just so I can help my son in the best way I can. Just because right now he's so little, he doesn't talk, he doesn't hear. Our form of communication as of now is ASL, and I do want my son to know ASL since he can't hear. It's just good for people who can't hear is to know ASL. It's their language, and I think ASL is such a cool language, and I wish I would have learned it sooner, and it didn't take this for me to learn it. But ASL is such a cool, beautiful language to know. And yeah, we are learning ASL. It is hard, but I am committed to learn for my son. And my son will be the reason I will learn ASL and will continue to learn ASL. Even if he gets cochlear, my son will know ASL because that's his language. Any family history? Okay, so no family history of hearing loss in my side of the family or his father's side of the family. So again, there's just no history of hearing loss in both sides of the family. So it's just something that again happened to my son. Another question is cochlear. Again, like I was explaining to you guys, we are taking steps for my son to get cochlear. God willingly, he will be a candidate for cochlear. Cochlear, we have to take a lot of steps. One of the steps is him getting evaluated by his specialist, which he has, getting an MRI. We did do a genetic testing. We're still waiting on results. We're still take to 4 to 6 weeks for us to get results back of his genetic testing. We're still waiting on those. He does do speech therapy. Again, he's very little, but speech therapy helps us more. Speech therapy right now is helping me and his dad know what to do with him and how to communicate with him and how to help him. So yes, he is taking speech therapy. Again, like I said, there's no family history, so hopefully this genetic testing does help us get some answers at least of why he has hearing loss. So yeah, we are taking steps to get cochlear. Have things changed after Matias' diagnosis? I don't think things have changed. As in, like, for me, his dad, like, our love for him has never changed. If anything, I feel like it has gotten bigger and stronger. Our love for him. Um, I think the only thing that has changed is us having to learn ASL, and I think that's pretty much it. Other than that, I think we accepted it. I feel like at first it was so hard to accept his hearing loss. Like, we were like, no, there's no way. Like, there's no way my son can hear. Like, like, he's happy. Like, he smiles when you talk to him. We were in denial is the best way I can put it. And once we accepted it, I think the only hard thing was learning ASL. Again, ASL, I think people say, like, for you to be fluent in ASL, it takes at least 4 years for you to be fluent in ASL. But yeah, I don't think anything has really changed. Our love for him is still this strong, if not even stronger. Even our family has been so supportive and so helpful. What were some signs? I think some signs about Matias' hearing loss. What can I say? I think I started to get more worried, even when they would tell me like, "Don't worry, like it could be fluid." I think it was when he wouldn't react to loud noises. He wouldn't react. But then again, I was in denial. I was like, maybe he just didn't. Maybe he just didn't hear it. Maybe he's just is not sensitive to noises like that. What causes hearing loss? I we don't know. We don't know. What they have told us is since he was in the NICU, he was so little, he was taking so much fluid medicine going in his body. That could have been one of the reasons that have caused his hearing loss. We still don't know, just because he did get a hearing test after he left the NICU and he was again failed. Um, and then again, we're still waiting on genetic testing to tell us what could have caused it. And one thing about when babies that are born with hearing loss or get hearing loss, they the best way they put it is, one thing we cannot tell you is what causes hearing loss, but one thing they can do is they can help us make sure Matias hears, or help us in other ways, as in like helping us learn how to communicate with him. We don't really know. We just know that it could have been the NICU. We're still waiting on results of genetic testing. But I don't. I just want to make this clear, since this is. I'm gonna end the video here. Because I don't know. It's still very hard for me to talk about. I feel like I've accepted it. I'm learning ASL. There's nothing wrong with it. I just want to let you guys know there's nothing wrong with my son. My son is beautiful. My son is happy. My son is thriving. My son is perfect to me. And him being diagnosed with hearing loss does not make him any less or any different. And I don't want you guys to feel bad. And as long as me and his dad are learning for him and educating ourselves the best that we can and getting the resources that my son needs, my son will be fine, and he is fine, and he will thrive. And our faith just has to be bigger than our fear, and he is healthy. You can ask anybody that has ever met my son. He is a beautiful baby, a happy baby, a very loved baby by everyone around him, his grandmas, his grandpas, his aunts, his uncles. Oh, that little boy is very loved and very spoiled, and I think that's why one of the reasons he's very happy is because he feels the love and he feels the support around him. And again, you can't buy health, and you cannot buy love, and you cannot buy the family that we are surrounded with. So we are very blessed to have the support that we have, or the Matias has, and the love that he feels. Um, so yeah, I really hope this answered any questions that you guys had. I'm sorry if I didn't make sense in some parts. It's just my first time really talking about it or making any videos. Again, we kept it to ourselves for a while. It's not that we didn't want anybody to know. It's just we wanted to make sure we knew our stuff. We were educated. We were helping my son. We were getting him the resources he needs, and my son is getting the resources he needs. He goes to therapy. We're learning ASL for him. For those who have reached out and sent me messages and have um been very supportive on this journey, I just want to say thank you so much. I may not show it, but I'm here to tell you is that I am very grateful, and I know a lot of you guys have been texting me, telling me your guys' stories. I didn't know I had so many followers who have hearing loss or who have family that have hearing loss. And I just want to say thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for just being so supportive. And the support doesn't go unseen. I love you guys so much, and I know Matias, when he gets older, he's gonna see all the support that he has from you guys as well, and the love as well. So I'm gonna end the video here, and thank you guys for watching.